No emailing anymore. Heads up, we are done with that.
Marketing can be fun.
I woke up with so much inspiration and motivation.
That is the only way to validate something. People buying it, not a wait list.
You broke so many hearts now.
Yeah, do you want to make it big or do you want to have a good life?
I want both.
Let's take some updates, if you don't mind. There's been a really hot debate going on. We can start with that.
I love that.
So we had, first of all, we had this huge event for indie makers across the world, I think. It's kind of
Did you watch it?
This was for us. Yeah. So Levels.io was on the Lex Friedman podcast, which I watched it. It was kind of surreal to see it, like, because his audience is not us usually. Like I don't listen to it. Maybe there's an overlap because he's very big, but it was a bit surreal to see Levels there. And I think there's a lot to learn from him, but also a lot that cannot be applied to yourself. And he had this tweet just the other day where he says that the web development industrial complex has lied to your face. Authentication, yes, you can do it yourself. Scale, yes, you can do it yourself. Database, yes, you can do it yourself. Server,
yes, you can do it for yourself.
You almost caught you on the wrong foot there. And when your site goes viral, you don't need to pay a $20,000 bill.
Of course.
So there's a lot to unpack.
Totally makes sense.
There's a lot to unpack.
Why would you ship and move fast when you can just build these things for maybe sometimes this will happen? You know, you need to be prepared then.
You went right into it. So I think that's one of the things to understand from Peter Levels. I think he's putting on a show on X. So not I really think that he, like, deep inside he's an all right guy, I think, probably, but some of these things are also to get people to react on it. And there is always some truth in there. I mean, of course, but it's just not a black and white kind of thing. Because if you're starting out and you go in this indie maker community, what you're going to see? You're going to see Mark Liu probably, right? He's sort of the face, or the upcoming face right now. Yeah, he's the leader. And what's he saying? Well, ship fast. That's literally his t-shirt, his name. I think he has that tattooed on his back now. That's it. And this is the exact opposite of that. I mean, if you get this idea and you're gonna spend time doing authentication from scratch, time deploying from scratch, time doing your database from scratch, you're in 3 weeks. The solution is probably less secure and less robust, and you didn't even start on the product yet.
It could be that he's just talking to a different audience at this point.
It could be. And listen, there is a time for that. I'm not saying, and there's specific products that don't work well on serverless at all. And I have some of those. I have 2 of those. And I wouldn't recommend just doing that. But if it saves whatever you have around you, whatever tools, if you can pay $20 to save a week of work, then do it. You can always move to your own server. And I think that is the bit of truth here, which is this is an important skill to have. You should learn it, but you should use it when it makes sense and not use it always. And then the other thing that you should unpack here is that Peter Levels, he has been doing this for 10 years? More? Who knows? He's been doing this forever. And he had time to improve on these. I bet his first version of authentication wasn't as good as it is today. And he kept iterating on it and make it better and better and better, you know? And if you're buying into this idea, also buy into that. Also think long-term, I'm going to do this for 10 years, then maybe it makes sense to invest into this and kind of have a server. I'm going to spend time, but then once it's set up, I can ship very fast and iterate And then, yeah, it's going to take some months to get it up to snuff. But once I have it, I can keep adding projects to it, and it's going to be okay. And I don't think a lot of people have this motivation. When you just started, you need to make some money, you need to validate the product. As we talked before, you need to think about marketing channels. There's 100 different things you do. You don't have time to set up this freaking server, and maybe you have 1 year of runway left, and then that's it. And why did you do that year? Well, first 6 months I set up this pretty nice self-hosted solution, and the last 6 months I shipped 2 products and didn't validate them, and they didn't make enough money, so it's back to work now.
Yeah, makes no sense. Makes no absolute sense. I think it's like, as you said at the beginning, we have this idea of how we are building these products and how fast we want to build these products. Especially if this is your first time project, like you really are getting yourself in uncomfortable situation, not only with building, but trying to find yourself and your story, and then the marketing channels and what works, what doesn't work. Product itself, when it's done and when you push your marketing channels, have different ways of working, because then you're going to figure out, okay, wait a minute, you can implement marketing inside of the product, which is totally different type of building the product and way of thinking as well. So there's too many things that you will be put in front for just to lose time on building, securing, like these type of the things. I don't get it. And it could be that he's just talking to a different audience, that we are still seeing him as an active member of the community, but we are far, far away from each other.
Well, yeah, he's talking to all audiences now, right? He's when you're on the Lex Friedman, then you are talking on the global stage right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you're absolutely right. And I think, and which I really like about you, Dan, you always mention to people how many years or experience you have to be on a certain level. So
levels.
It's very good name though. So
I don't even know. I think that's not his real name, but if someone knows, I don't know if it's just, or maybe he's probably crazy enough to change it to his real name if it wasn't, and now it is.
The main, come on, that's like childish game. Let me change my name. But I would rather take Mark's approach or your approach or Mac's approach, where you can actually see the process of how these people are building or moving. And you can even, like, something that I've realized in this community for indie hackers, it's much easier when they have a list of the things they need to do. And I would rather, when you're starting a new project, okay, let me build this, let me test this, let me validate this, find your own ways of how to do that. And it goes same through the marketing as well. Like if you have a list of the things you want to try, why, like if you take a look at the Philippe's product, why it went so well? Because it's a to-do list. You have a list of the things and you just send an email, you submit your product, you do this and that, and you are over, you're moving to the next thing.
Yep. Because there's so much to do.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
So much to do. So I wouldn't bother, like.
Yeah.
And I know building is fun, but.
Yeah, that's also one thing. And I think some barriers, and I think it's really highly technical people will do this more for fun than it is for revenue. And if that's what you want to do, then by all means, build a server from scratch, because it has to be fun if you enjoy doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it, right? And it's if you do that anyway, you're probably pretty good at it, so it's not going to take you that long time. But most people, I think most successful indie makers, they're pretty much average across the board, which is quite funny. They're not really excelling in any of the things, and maybe that's why I look at myself and I think I should like just be more average at things, like stop polishing. I really have a problem with design. Like I really polish design too much. I want before I launch it. But John has a friend of the show, John Rush. He has a take as well that if you're at the MVP stage, you should use free or cheap plans. And you can actually, so stuff like Vercel, you can get for free. Like technically, I'm going to cancel for this, but technically, you need to pay once you become commercial. But I've seen people saying what they're going to sue me if I wait like 3 more months before I make enough revenue to pay for this, and I don't recommend that. This is not financial advice or legal advice. But there are free plans still in all of these, and you could get pretty far even with the base plans. And the reality is that you get viral, and a huge traffic spike is. I think this is not. I don't think this is data science, but there's a very 0.0 something percent. It's a very, very small percentage. Plus, CEO of Vercel, Guillermo Rauch, very cool guy, awesome mustache as well. He said that they've been making huge strides into preventing these kind of issues and having more caps and automatic protection and DDoS migration and so on. Because I don't think this is really their business model. I think, of course, they want the ones that have a lot of traffic to pay the bills. And I think that's why it's so cheap for the rest of us. But ultimately, they want the same thing as indie makers, which is quite funny. They want you to use this to really like the development experience. And then what? Then you take it to your work and they pay the bills.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And I'm doing that. Like when I'm doing freelancing, I'm like, why don't you just use Next.js? And boom, they got a customer, and then it's on their payslip. So there's that. There's also I would really like this thing to happen. Alessandro said a podcast with Levels.io and the CEO of Vercel, Rauch.
Look, we can host that podcast.
Oh yeah. We can clear our schedule, no problem. We could do it anytime. And the funny thing is that Guillermo Rauch said he's down, and he would even do a cage fight. And really, I think this is one of the cool things about Vercel. Like they've been getting a lot of crap, and there's space. Like I've been also guilty of writing some nasty things about them in the past, and I will probably do it in the future again, because some of their stuff is kind of annoying, some of the pricing changes and so on, but they are part of the community to some extent. Like every time I write something, and it's not just me, and it's only with Vercel, so no other. I complain about a lot of things, right? Except for Sentry. Like minus Sentry, I don't think I ever complain about Sentry because it's pretty good. But that day will come. I'm sure it will. But when I complain to others, there's nothing. When I complain about Vercel, they're in my DMs. Like you either have Lee Robinson, so each sort of leader of the product kind of gets. So if I complain the analytics, then I forgot what his name is, but he will get in my DMs and so on, which is pretty incredible. It's just being part of this.
We have experienced that with the companies that are fully integrated into our systems and community. Let's say, like even with PassHog, it was the same situation. Whenever you figure out something, they were very fast on changing, improving, and doing something for the community. So it's like, it's a great approach from them as well, as you said, because they know what is the model they are hunting, and they know target audience, and they know who we are, and that we fit into that.
Oh, now that you say that, now it comes back to me. I did complain about Sentry, and we were writing about, so Sentry catches all the errors, and sometimes the errors come from browser extensions. So it's completely outside of a browser extension can break your website, but there's still nothing you can do about it realistically. And I complained about that, and I saw that they've released a feature where you can filter out, I forget how the filter works, but you can filter out all the browser extension errors. Maybe I should write a small post on it. I haven't tried it myself, but just goes to show that there are companies that listen. The same PostHog, Sentry, good examples, and Vercel, but then it kind of stops there. Like I complain about a lot of things. Like, Cloudflare never engages with people.
MailChimp.
Bigger. If you complain about AWS, it's not going to
I
happen.
love
Google
how you
Cloud,
have your
stuff like
dev
that.
problems and I have my marketing problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, look, I'm going to do something. I hope I don't regret sharing this live. Okay. This is my Vercel. This is where I host every single one of my websites. I think go to my profile. It's a pretty long list. I don't even know how many, plus experiments, right? I paid $20 plus this darn analytics, which I should disable, 14, right? $34. I just leave the analytics because of the historical data. This is how I started. Now I have post hog as well, but I kind of like to see the history in here. But besides that, look at my usage. Okay, this is 29%. Is the highest. Something. Everything else is not even close to exceeding. Yeah. So I'm not even close to paying extra on this. Right? I have Cloudflare in front, which might be a pro tip that caches a little bit more. I think I haven't tried turning it off and see if I'm going to get a bill instantly. But that is the fact is you could go a pretty long way with this $20 kind of doesn't look bad right now.
And you can definitely even optimize what's currently there.
Yeah. So also, of course, and you can always move it. And just to show, like one of the product, Shipixon, is running on Vercel as well, and it just did $3,000. So paying $20 to get, it's a pretty nice margin, huh?
Oh yeah.
And the time that I saved not deploying this, I can deploy things. I wrote this blog post just the other day, or it wasn't a blog post. It was more like a mouth blog. I wrote this tweet where I just wrote down the steps to set up a VM on Hetzner and to host something simple yourself. And I could go for those steps too. But the funny thing about that is you do it and it makes a lot of sense in some cases. But I got 100 different suggestions on, but also install this. And also, what about the firewall? And also the DDoS thing, and also this, and also that. And they all make sense. And maybe you don't need all of them when you start because you're not going to get any traffic. But it's kind of nice to not think about that before you. So at this point, I could say if Vercel all of a sudden flips a switch and it starts to cost $5,000 a month, then I could say, fine. Then I go on Hetzner and host it myself. I use Coolify. That's another great option. And it's important to have the skill set to do that when the time comes. But I wouldn't do it as a starting point myself. I kind of like this. I think the developer experience is great. I think the performance is great. What can I tell you?
Yeah. For the people just starting out, it makes no sense.
But speaking about people starting up and celebrating this wonderful community we have a post from Shivansh, and I will actually please read his name, Sandra, because you're pretty good at this.
Oh, Dan, I will never get used to this, but you are enjoying it too much. Shivansh Mehtarita Data. I didn't even read.
I'm so sorry, Shivansh.
Yeah, but he didn't use this as a marketing strategy.
I apologize for this. It's such a bad look.
So Dan, can you do this now for us?
I'm laughing at Sandra, not at your name. It's a beautiful name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mehendirata. Now it's better. I'm getting better in these things. Leave me alone. Read the post.
I'll shut up.
Slick just crossed $500 in MRR. Wrote the first line.
It's Slick that is. You see, that's
brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay, let's start over.
Slick.is crossed $500 in MRR. Wrote the first line of code 11 months ago. We got 100 plus in MRR from our first product and launch. But I started working on 3 more new products at the same time: an SEO tool, a Twitter and LinkedIn scheduling tool, Reddit keyword monitoring tool. Oh, I'm excited for this one. while doing my consulting in parallel. In all four crossed $100 MRR through the initial launches. I thought I had mastered the ship fast, 12 products in 12 months mindset, but very clearly I was doing something wrong. None of the products grew past that, including Slick. In the first 4 months, someone dropped a review on Slick, which changed the way I approached my indie hacking journey. Okay. I've been looking. Yeah.
That's the overall thing. But this chart is looking pretty decent, huh?
Yeah.
It's, it's 588 MRR is not something you completely ignore. Like it's depending on where you are in the world, it could also be ramen profitable. Not in the Nordics, but many other parts. It's an okay revenue for this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about this 12 products in 12 months? Yeah.
I love the idea actually of that. I think if you're not dependent of making the money at that point, or you have some runway, or you have ability to like experience and learn, I think it's a great thing to jump in. I mean, like every project you do, and I think the first project, when you take a look at the first project, you have no idea what you're doing. It's probably gonna fail. The moment you realize that, it's much easier to think about the ideas and see the problems you currently have in the products you are building. And then you have also ability to maybe pull those problems and build something around that and move faster. You have ability to connect with more people, to, learn about marketing or how to market yourself as well in the process. So I like the idea of moving fast and building these projects, but I would just make sure that this is not something that you jump in without having a runway, or some gigs or freelancer type of thing, so you can kind of sponsor yourself through this experience. But I like it.
Yeah, that's maybe a good way to leverage your skills is to do freelancing and to also increase your runway. But I think I'm pretty sure he has other sources too. But I've seen also people that think, okay, they're gonna make it. My runway is almost over, and I put all that I had into this, and time's up. I basically can't do it. And it's also funny that this is non-linear, so you could do this for 12 months, you could do 24 months, nothing happens, and then the 25th month, you got it, and you're set. So the longer you can stay in it and throw things at the wall, then the bigger you'll increase your own chances to hit that product, because no one really knows what they're doing. No one really knows if something's going to be successful. No one really knows if something's going to make a lot of money or not. So yeah, but this looks super cool. Slick, create and edit viral shorts using AI. I think we should try this.
Oh yeah.
The landing page looks pretty cool as well. So let's try this after the show. It looks awesome. Congrats, Shivansh. This is awesome. Next update by, you say it? Next update by Onur Ozer.
I actually could see.
Just made my first internet money today. I feel so tricked. $29. That's sweet.
You know what's
Stripe
happening?
email.
Listen to this, Dan. We've been doing this for a while now. I mean, 2 years? And we went through a lot of the show, the building, and we went through a lot of lemon squeezy emails. But I got one for LB a few days ago, and it was from Alex, and it was the best feeling ever.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Not even close. So meet Lars. I love this website already. Meet Lars, your AI marketing guy. Lars helps founders and marketers develop marketing strategies and generate actionable growth ideas in minutes. Now, if this is a product made for you, if I ever saw one in my life.
There is a hair missing.
So it could be maybe every time you refresh, you get like a different persona, and one of them could be you for sure. So you can create customer profiles. This is pretty cool. Is what we talked about earlier. Refine your positioning, generate marketing ideas. Every time we do this, I want to try these products. I want to see how this works because this on paper sounds pretty cool. It sounds like, depending on what stage you are in the product, I think this is more early stage. It sounds like it could give you some pretty good ideas on how to approach. So really fits into the topic of the show, this one. Did you pick it like this?
Yeah.
Such a professional.
Thank you very much. Since I moved from to-do list from the software to the paper and pen, I feel so much more productive in finding great things. By the way, I think we could actually do the show where we only try different products.
Can I just tell the people that the reason why you did that is because you're so cheap to pay Notion that you would rather write on the paper than to pay another subscription?
I paid one bill this year to Notion, and I'm not paying any other bill to Notion for the next 5 years. I don't care.
How much was that?
It was a lot of money then. I can't even talk about it. It's really hard on me.
Thousands?
No,
it's
thousands.
From
it's hundreds. For me, the limit is hundreds.
Yeah. I think Peter Levels was right, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to build my own Notion. Or I'm going to write things down to the paper and then mail you.
That's the classic. It's kind of, okay, it's not really a to-do app. It's like, it's kind of like a to-do app with bonuses, but that is literally the first development project everyone starts with when you learn that's the to-do app. So
I did a calendar though.
I wonder,
Yeah.
It's tough with the calendar. Was that your first app?
Yeah.
That you've built?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did it why did I do the calendar?
Respect. Huge respect.
Oh, you know why? Because at that point, we were not this close. And Hunted Space didn't have calendar, and I wanted to have calendar for Product Hunt launches. And then I realized that we can add it to yours.
Yes.
Yeah. So I quit from my calendar. It was too hard.
Which is super cool. A Hunted Space is becoming a bit of a hub for actually not only indie makers. Like I'm getting, I showed you 2-3 submissions a day. And I want to celebrate that. We're almost up to 1,000 submissions in the calendar. And I want to surface these products. I want to reward the people that go on Hunted Space.
I want to find out the traffic. Are they coming only from X, or how do they find?
We have PostHog, but you need to look at it. You need to apply some skills because I don't have any. But it's growing really well also with the newsletter and the stupid pop-up that you made me do that works, and I hate it that it works, but it works.
Please put a pop-out, or actually go to Hunted Space, check how cool pop-out is there. Can you show it actually then?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
If you don't have it on your website, do it right now. It's the most important thing.
Let me see if I can get it.
I think many people are scared of it because they feel like we are pushing something. But if you make it cool, then it's. I have this.
I might have dismissed it. No, there it is. Yeah. So here's a GIF. Okay, we just lost half the audience.
Come on, you know what?
It's a GIF. Yeah. So get everything you need from Product Hunt, blah blah blah, to-do list. Make it as number 1. And it's very laid back and says, cool email, please. I want in. And there's a leave me alone button, which really, I think, makes a lot of people forgive you for this otherwise annoying pop-up that we don't want to deal with right now. So, yeah, we got a lot of newsletter subscribers because of this. So I want to say nice work, but I also don't like it, so I won't say anything.
By the way, Dan put this pop-out, I think, a day before Product Hunt launch.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was something like that.
And I was really afraid that it's going to affect the Product Hunt launch, but no one said anything about it.
No,
and actually, some people said it's cool and it created some hype around it.
Yeah.
So if you're afraid it's going to mess up your product and people are going to be annoyed, if you do it this way in a more relaxed, I think another example is Post Hoc. Again, I want to bring it up because their marketing voice and tone is very relaxed. It's very laid back. I need to show you this. So Post Hoc, we got it right here. And look at this. The cookie banner that everyone hates. It's this is Ursula von der Leyen. I mean, my Dutch is not up to standards these days, but she's literally doing the EU Commission is just giving you the thumbs up. So I mean, of course, and then further down, like you go through this, and then you see, they have the whole brand figured out. They have a mascot and all of that. So it's easy for them because they've built this and they had the resources to build it. But the part that we can all reproduce, if you go all the way to the bottom, it's this. And this one, which literally says, this is the call to action. If nothing else has sold you, hopefully these classic marketing tactics will. And remember, this is a company with making millions or funded millions. And so it's not a, hey, Jane launched a $300 startup last week. And I cannot be mad at this. Like it says, not endorsed by Kim K, and then says 3 people would have added to cart if this was a real cart. And
plus then, it's eco-friendly. I mean,
eco-friendly, and then digital download, and then there's a star, and it says it's a web product and cannot be installed by CD. So it's like they're just making fun of all of this, and I think when people see this, you cannot be mad at this, really.
But you did that for the Morning Maker show as well, for the sponsors and for the community, for the pricing page. I think copy there is like, get your keys, or here's our keys to our home, or something like that, which is really
cool. Our house keys. Yeah. But that was, you're saying like, if I did anything, but that was literally your idea that you made me do. So anyway, last update, and then we're off to do marketing. That's all we do here. Please take it. Who's this guy?
Dimitri. I love. We need to bring Dimitri on the show as soon as possible. Anyway, I'll message him later on. Such a fundamental question to decide. Do I want to build and grow a company, hire and scale it to millions in revenue? Or do I want to build a business around my life, hobbies, and I cannot read this word, with whatever it makes, I take it. I don't have an answer yet.
Curiosity.
It's actually my competitor, so I don't want to say that. I should not have said this. Oh, stupid.
Where is it? Curiosity.com. Anyway, no. So yeah, do you want to grow, make it big, or do you want to have a good life and enjoy it, but with less revenue?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which one? I want. You want both?
I want both. I want a nice exit. That would be nice. I think I want a really nice balanced life where I work every day on something I like. So the stress and the hard and stuff don't destroy my motivation, and I don't burn out. And there is still idea of a farm, and I'm still waiting for John to give an update of that. But I think once you take like other people money, there is a certain pressure of making it not responsibility, making it not only for yourself or the product, but also for the people that have put the money in the company. I think once you do that, also the fun part goes away a little bit. So I think this space where we are, if we are able to make money and live a comfortable life and enjoy our hobbies, like Dimitra said, it's much more healthier because essentially you are doing what you love to do. It's just that you are someone who is deciding on how to proceed next and what are the best options. And if shit hits the fan, you are the one that is taking that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree. And the scale comes with, I think also as Dimitro mentioned, with hires and then more responsibility for those people and managing and so on. And I think one of so romantically doing a solo business means that you can, on paper, you can organize your time any way you want. If you want to not work in a day or do something, spend time with family or just fly somewhere, you can do that. Or you can be anywhere, you can work anywhere. And that is not very much compatible with growing, hiring, and as an end goal, at least, right? Let's think about that as a best case scenario. If you make it in both cases, so you make it with 10,000 MRR, let's say, which is probably enough for most countries except the Nordics to live okay, depending on the size of your family, of course, and 100K MRR, but having 3 employees and more, and having all sorts of support requests and all sorts of issues, that immediately when you reach that scale, and I have just thousands on my own, and it's still, if something goes wrong, I immediately get emails like it's coming. If it doesn't work, you get it, and wherever you are, you need to drop the thing and fix it. But I think that goes a bit like this in both scenarios. Of course, there's a difference between 1,000 and 10,000, right? That obviously you're going to get more requests. And I think I'm leaning towards the more relaxed path as well. But that's not to say that reaching 10K MRR is that easy either, right?
Oh, yeah. And it's not an easy path as well. Like, I think we also put pressures on ourselves in both cases, because like, even you would be the same designer and you would care the same way you care about design if you are working solo or for the company. It's just that you are that person. It's your personality. Like, example for me in Clue, it was, I think the hardest part was the hiring process, because when it was on us, whatever happens, we fail, it's on us. But now you have people that are counting on this. And that's type of the responsibility that I haven't been introduced before. So it was something new for me. Yeah. So I think that's the main reason why this solo works better. The idea of that works better for me. And even though you're not that solo, there are, as we said, you have a community of people that will help you, and but that aspect of other people's responsibility and lives is very hard for me.
I agree. With that said, I would like to thank you, Sentry, for sponsoring us. I love Sentry personally. I just got an email that I got a bug. So I will have to close it down here and fix the bug and live my relaxed lifestyle. God, I love Sentry. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Make sure to check morningmakershow.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on YouTube as well. We do a live stream, and then Lara, our editor from Clipwing, she makes it really, really nice, and we post that on YouTube as well. If you want to see the full quality of our face, that's where you get it. We're also on TikTok, if that's your thing, and on X. And we have a wonderful newsletter on morningmakershow.com. And I hear the next edition might come out any day now.
Yes.
Any day. So now is the right time to subscribe. Chandra, thank you for today. I had a blast. This is a really good show.
Thank you, Dan. Let's continue having this conversation now for an hour more.
Yeah. That's member-only access. So we're going to call in the Morning Maker Show community and just chill on Sunday.
Yeah. But thank you so much, and have a lovely rest of the day, and see you next weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.